up in front of the car dealership. And as we came out, we could see a row of people all dressed in black, some sitting down, some standing. And one of them came towards us and he said, "Hi, welcome. So what are we looking for today?" And my wife and I tell him in unison, "We're looking for a hybrid. Do you have that?" And he says, "We don't have one on the lot today, but I've got this car that's the exact same make model. It's just not a hybrid, but it's such a good deal. You could at least test drive that one, see if you like it. And then when we get a hybrid on the lot, maybe you could, decide that'll help you decide." And at that moment, the skies open up and it just starts pouring rain. He says, "Well, why don't we just take shelter in the car?" And so we follow him. We get in the car and I say, "We were really looking for a hybrid." And then my wife looks around and we actually look at each other and say, "But this is actually pretty nice." He says, "Well, why don't you take it for a spin?" And so I start the car and we go. And we're driving around and then he says, "So, how long have you guys been married?" And I say, 7 years. We've got 2 kids. And he says, I recently took the plunge. I moved from Texas to New Mexico to be with my girlfriend here after a year of dating. And, I really don't regret it. And I'm learning so much about relationships. I've learned that I have to say yes to everything she says and got to pick my battles. Am I right? And he hits me on the shoulder. And I don't say anything. I just look at my wife from the corner of my eye and I see that she's raising an eyebrow. We get back to the dealership, get out of the car, and then I tell him, "Look, do you have a card? Because, we've got a babysitter at home and we got to relieve her. Maybe, we can get back in touch, and when you've got a hybrid in the lot, we'll come back." And he says, "Well, I've got some numbers to show you. I'd really like to do that, and I don't even have a card with me. Let me just hang on one sec, okay? I'll be right back." And he goes inside. And then someone else comes out with him, and they say, "Hey, come on in. We'll give you our cards, we'll give you our numbers, and we'll talk, but I really want to show you these numbers." The floor manager is there with him. That's the other gentleman that came out. And he's a bit older, and we go into his office, and he's the one who writes down the numbers on a piece of paper, and he slides those towards me, and he says, "That's the best deal you're going to get on that car. That's an incredible deal. It's a rainy day today. There are not a lot of people coming in. This is the day to buy a car, because tomorrow it's going to be sunny again, and everybody's going to want that car. And your hybrid, who knows when it's going to be here." And so my wife and I look at these numbers, and then he says, "I hear that you've got 2 kids. You know how many kids I got?" I said, "No, I got 10 kids, 5 that are still at home." And one day, I was coming back from Harvest Festival, and we all had a great time. And he says, "But that's not important. The 5 kids were in the car, in that car that you just test drove, great for space. My wife was in the passenger seat. A drunk driver hit us out of nowhere, burned a red light, and we skidded for 40 feet. The guy must have been going 30, 40 miles an hour when he hit us. We all went to the hospital, minor, nothing major happened, just a bit of whiplash. And I remember the doctor telling us, "You guys were very, very lucky. Collisions like this on the passenger side, passenger rarely makes it. You were lucky." And he looks at us and he says, "It wasn't luck. It was that car. That car has been rated number 1 for safety in its category. Better than all those luxury brands out there. Look at all these dealerships around us. This is the number 1 car. That one that you tried today. Today's the day." And at that moment, my heart beats faster. I swallow. I take a breath. I look at my wife, and she says, "We got to go get the kids, the babysitter. We got to relieve her." And this time, the younger guy, pulls a card from his back pocket. It was there the whole time, and he gives it to me. So we get back into the car, and I tell my wife, "Man, that was quite a story. He almost brought me back." I mean, I really I did not intend on getting a car there at all. Like, I really didn't trust either of those people. They didn't listen to us. But that story was powerful. Safety is important to us. What did you think? She said, "I'm not even sure that story was true."